so excited. We have an incredible night tonight. I'm Christine Campbell. I'm your host with 9atNight, and we're every weekday night from Monday through Friday. And it's all about everybody. We have a different topic. Tonight, it's all about the talent, and we're talking about the business side of the talent as well as the other side spectrum when it comes to an actor who went producer, director, business owner, and it's going to be exciting. So I can't wait to get started. I'm going to go ahead and introduce my co-host for tonight. And this lady is just a dynamo. Her name is Karla Johnson, and she owns an amazing talent agency. And she's based out of Montana. And I'll tell you what, Creative World has done amazing things when it comes to getting the people in the door, those that have their dreams ready to explode, and she makes that happen with her connections. So if you ever have a desire to do anything with your creativity when it comes to either on the runway or in film or just music and modeling and acting, she does it. And so it's Karla Johnson right here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on board. Welcome, Karla. Are you there, Karla? There we go.
I'm here. Sorry.
That's okay. You're the moonbeam in Arizona right now.
Right.
Very good. I want to just recap. You have a wonderful one of your clients here today that we're going to take a lot of time because there's so much that we can learn from his whole experience that he can share and teach others. But Karla, when you got into your modeling agency, you've never done it before, but you purchased one of the best, oldest standing, incredible, successful one in Montana. So let's go back there and let's talk about your reason why and how many years you've been with it and what's the best part of it.
Okay, so yeah, the agency had been established since 1979. And my why was my little daughter. She wanted to get into the business. And so I thought, well, no way better than to get right in, jump with both feet in. So it's been a great ride. I've enjoyed, well, what I really love about it is I've got people like Tim coming back after they go off and make their debut and get, up the ladder there. And then they come back and we can reconnect, and it's just like old times, and we can help each other out. He can help me now. He's the young stuff because I'm getting older. So he can be legs for me. So, but I love it because people always seems like they come back and they want to share with me what they've learned out there. And then we can collaborate together and help each other out. So I really love to do that. I love for them to come back, and like I said, I'm their mother agent, so I'm like their mother. So I want to always take care of them and then be a part of their lives, even though they move on. It's great for them to come back and share their stories.
Well, you've really set the bar high, because what you have done is said you are about relationships. You're about building those relationships with your clients so that their dreams, you'll do all you can to help reach them. And you have those avenues. And you even told me that you have, places in both LA and New York that you can take them to, and they can meet their future.
Yes,
right there.
Yes, that is true.
Briefly about that, because those connections are huge. Absolutely.
Do you want, the modeling convention that I go to is IMTA, and I've been, a lot of people have reached out to me to do other besides that convention. NYC Connect is also reached out. I have a lot of them reaching out to me to get me to come there, but I have certain criteria that I like in a convention. So I really have to check them out to make sure that they're a good fit for my models and talent, because I don't just want to hand them off to anybody, So I'm kind of choosy about, safety, protection, and people that get results for my talent models. So definitely, yes.
That is excellent. I commend it to you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead. I have a little bit I want to tell about our guest today, and then I'll let you join me. Let me just go ahead and get his picture up. And And this is Karla's information. It's basically creativeworldinc.com is the best way to get a hold of her. And it's Karla Johnson in Montana. So right now, this is Timothy Lofing. He was born and raised in Montana. He's an actor as well as an independent producer, director, second assistant from New York City. And he also working all over. He actually has experience, and he's got a lot of big words. I'm trying to say them all at once, okay? In commercial, film, and television, and since he's 18 years old, so he's quite seasoned, and started his entertainment career when he was only 16, working with Karla at the Creative World Talent Agency. So the last 2 decades, he has the privilege of working nearly every aspect of the industry, and that's from a lead in a role, and it's a very well-known film called Frontier Boys. In fact, I did watch that. I love it. And winner of 6 independent film festivals to a guest star role on CBS network show Tommy. So he began working behind the camera as a director in 2014 and on the later stage network series Dead on Acting. And he's worked with clients covering the commercial, television, film, and streaming markets, working with CBS, ABC, Netflix, Fox, and companies. And I'll tell you, the list goes on. We're talking companies like Google, Lincoln, Mercedes, L'Oreal, Ruby Tuesdays, Adidas. Oh my gosh, it keeps going. Well, Tim, you're just absolutely amazing. So welcome. And Karla, did you want to add anything to all the amazing things that I've already added?
Oh gosh, he's probably got so much more, we can't even list it. But I'm proud he started with Creative World, and I'm proud that he's still in the industry and doing good things and good works.
That's excellent. Well, let's go ahead and have you join us, Tim, and we sure appreciate you being here. If we can get your...
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. So now turning it over to you, that's a whole mouthful. I mean, if you don't mind, how old are you now? Because that's a lot of longevity and experience.
In just like 11 days, I'll be 36. So.
No way, that's 20 years. That's a lot of experience. Anybody that has any questions can definitely go to you. Now, you have some amazing announcements. I just barely heard, and I'm all excited with goosebumps all over my heart. So where do you want to start? We had you on before, and I want to go back, but I want to go to today and then work backwards. Is that okay?
Okay.
So we can just...
Hey, absolutely. I love your show. So however you want to do it, we're here to have a good time, Christine. So if you want to start it here, we can definitely start here and now.
I am, for the reason that this is exciting and I can't wait. Okay.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds
so
good.
Let's go with it. Why don't you go ahead and share with us exactly what we're talking about?
Yeah, so we did just get some exciting news. We can finally officially share that we were awarded we're one of the winners of the Big Sky Film Grant out of Montana, and that'll be for our pilot that we are going to be shooting in August of this coming year. So August 26th, 27th, 28th, it'll be for our barbecue competition show called Barbecue Heroes. And we're just really, really excited. It's been something that we've been working on for a year and a half. As many of these independent projects, they take time and money and a lot of patience. It's one thing where, imagine that, right? So, but we're very excited we can announce that. And so we're making with new stages now, working on branding development. So that's kind of the second stage that we're in, and we'll be working with major brands. We can't really talk about that yet, but that's going to be the new development. And then that's going to push us into pre-production starting in July. So we're very excited to get it off the ground. And we've got some amazing charities that we're working with. I can say the founders of the project, which was Rick and Ty Hamilton, they met with me about a year and a half ago and said, hey, we have this idea for a pilot. We did a little test pilot already, and we would love to highlight heroes across the United States. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
I just got chills again.
Yeah, so it's a really incredible, unique opportunity.
So on the heroes, what's that going to comprise of? That's a lot.
It is, hero is such a broad term, but what we really wanted to do is something that's really popular in the market right now is competition shows. And we said, well, how do we still blend what's popular inside the market and still be entertaining, but still true to ourselves, where we don't feel like we're selling out just for another competition show. And that's where this has such a beautiful blend of, it is a barbecue competition. There'll be that edge of having to cook something just like Chopped or any of these competition shows. But what's unique about the perspective is all of the set design, all of the donations, everything that's going to be a part of this project, number one, will go away to charity. And when we're screening for the two contestants, right now they have an opportunity of one winning $10,000. The other, even if they don't win the competition day, will still walk away with $5,000 for their charity. It's a total of $15,000 just cash prizes. But we wanted to do something that was fun and entertaining around food, which we all love, and barbecue. But at the end of the day, again, it all comes back to the charities. Even our interview process will be screening members. The big qualification in our casting process is you have to be involved with the charity. And you have to have a mission of why these people are being nominated as local heroes. And it can be anything from nurses to teachers to average people on the street. Doesn't matter. They just have to have a great story. And the biggest thing is they have to have the love for the community. And that's what we want to celebrate.
So is this going to be a traveling show that you do this, or do people come to you?
Yes, it will be. So we're going to have our pilot episode. We're very excited to have it in Bozeman, Montana. And it's so good to be back home. I love Montana. I love New York City. Don't get me wrong, but it's great to be back home. And we'll do our pilot episode here. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I keep it quiet. I mean, everybody else watching, just keep it quiet.
Right. Mum's the word, right?
Pinky swear.
But yeah. So we'll be traveling. We'll be going to 9 different cities throughout the nation. And then the 10th episode for the season finale is all of the winners from all of the episodes will come back for one final chance to win $25,000 for their charity, as well as an incredible amount of giveaways that we're working with our branded content. And so we're just, we're very excited. We don't want to give it all away, too much, but we're just so excited. And we've met so many incredible people already. And
you've given enough for everybody to just want to do this. I do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's our whole goal, is we just want to highlight. We think right now, especially, the world needs to see a little bit of good rather with everything that's going on. And so we hope to give that to the world. So we'll shoot our pilot, and then we'll submit on to streaming networks like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu.
Well, and what that means you're going to be on 9 at Night right before or after each night scoop with Karla on the show too. To keep Karla,
that's right.
We're helping Karla, so we have to have you on.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I love you, Karla. Well, it is good to see you.
That is
He's
so cool.
my boy.
So with that,
Absolutely.
I have a whole bookcase of barbecue. Are you kidding? A recipe books and everything. So I got to pay attention to this one. So now you're going to kick off in July, but the cities, how far are you going to every day do a different city, every week do a different, because that's a lot of time on the road. So how do you do each one?
So it will depend on like the network that we're working with and their shooting schedule. Most likely it will be wrapped up in 3.5 months. Now, again, that might have to be pertaining on the barbecue competition, because we are hitting, the big competitions, such as the Jack Daniels World Invitational down in Lynchburg, Tennessee. We'll be hitting the Royal, big barbecue competitions, because what we also want to do is be able to share with the world what those competitions are like. And so one of the little sneak things I can throw out there is in day 3 of the competition, there's a surprise twist for the winner of whoever, wins on the Elimination Day challenge, that they will be competing in a national competition.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, if you'll be the launch to get them in the door.
Yes. So we're definitely going to be that help in that venue. And that's part of what we can talk about at the end of the season. Whoever is the winner, they will have the opportunity to come back and be on tour with Montana Outlaw Barbecue for the next year. So it's a pretty big deal. Montana Outlaw Barbecue, Rick and Ty Hamilton are incredible people. They have an incredible, successful story. They worked so hard for it, and they're just looking to expand their team. Now they want to give that knowledge out to the world. It's
No,
exciting.
I love it. And you have the tools to make that happen and just take charge with that. So are you in a producer role, a director role?
I am. I'm both producing and directing. And
Oh.
so my business partner, Terrell Vincent, will be the director of photography as well as directing. And we have to wear a lot of hats. So, that's one thing, topping tip wise, if anyone that's listening, just talking about being able to wear a lot of hats in the beginning, and then eventually when these budgets become big enough where you can itemize down into those crew members. But we'll be producing and directing.
Well, and I understand that. I told you my son is doing all of this stuff in a different realm. And so
Yes.
it's something where I understand the ropes. So this is
Mhm.
your website. Talk me through this. Let's show everybody what you want them to see.
Sure. So this is just our basic landing page, but you can see this is just, our homepage, letting you know a little bit about. If you click on, you can scroll down and you can see some of our YouTube videos that we've been putting up there that we're building their brand with. And so we kind of took a 3-step process with Montana Outlaw Barbecue. When I first started meeting with the company, you can see the previews there of any of our YouTube channel. And we launched them into starting small and then building into controlled lighting and a really cool atmosphere, building in some special effects with CS After Effects. And again, just expanding their business. So that's what you see here. And that's where we wanted to create more brand awareness, which we're very excited. One announcement we can talk about, will be into monetization very soon with their YouTube platform. And these are just more of the amazing videos we've done throughout the year. So
That is an
we've
alligator. I can't believe
that
it.
that is an alligator. That's one awesome thing about Rick and Ty. They love to surprise me. And so we came in for our pre-production meeting and they said, okay, so here's the thing. We don't want to tell you what the exotic meat's going to be until on the day. I said, guys, as a director, that doesn't work real great. And they said, well, Tim, we can trust that you can do it, right? And I said, that reverse psychology, my friend, I appreciate it. But, we had a great meeting about it. We came out with alligators and we made alligator tacos. It was just absolutely incredible. So we've done everything from competition cooking on the channel. We've also done exotic meats, and we've had a Montana cocktail hour where people can go on and learn simple recipes.
Mhm.
And now again, with this, we're just developing into brand and content. But if you go to the services page on there,
Okay.
and you can go back up towards the top.
I'm clicking on the chat. Let me type something in there so they know it's from you. So I said, is Christine from 9atnight.com. Your website is live on our podcast. And Tim Lofing, let me see if Lofing is bragging again about, is that going to work? Can I do that?
Sure.
Let's see what happens if anything comes up while we're on the show. We're just having fun. That's all. That's what it's about.
Yeah, you bet. That's why you gotta use that service. That's what it's for.
Okay, so where should we go now?
I mean, you could go to the little bit of posting about the Barbecue Hero project. If you want to take a look at coming soon, there's 2 major things with Montana Outlaw Productions. One is the Crock Stock, which you'll see there is on July 30th, 2022. Everything that Montana Outlaw Barbecue has some function of going back to charity. And so they're doing this event where they're having a band come in, and that's going to be at Meadowlark Brewery down in Billings, which is kind of a nice new opening. We just had a class down there a few weeks ago. And they're going to have an amazing event that has live music. It's going to have also crocodile, hence Crock Stock. And it'll have some amazing barbecue. And it's just an event for the public to come out, have a great time, all celebrate local businesses.
That is way cool. Did they tell you any of the other exotic animals they don't dare tell you?
There's some rumor about some things like that Indiana Jones doesn't like, and I'm not a big fan myself, which is snake. And that might be coming soon, but we're talking big snakes, not small, which, I'm now maybe regretting developing an exotic playlist for them.
That is so cool. So there's the Heroes pilot. Oh, can we play this?
Yes.
Okay, so
So that'll just give you a little brief clip about what the project is. And
where I click on it.
Yeah, that's just a still. That's just
Oh,
our one of our play still. And that's actually from the test pilot they did. That's what's so neat about what Rick and Ty had in the very beginning of the vision of this before they met with our team and we sat down and launched was that was one of the original members who they went down and they got a grill that was donated amazingly by Traeger and they donated the grill and they had an amazing send off. He was he worked for a local fire department and everyone turned out to celebrate this guy of everything that he's done and really the list is too long to
mhm.
go into what that man's done. He's just an incredible human being
Wow.
and that's what we need more of in this world and so they celebrated, gave him that, and that's what that picture is you see there is that's
Oh,
actually from one of the original test pilots.
oh, that is huge. And so it tells about it. I love it. Anybody trying to roll up their sleeves to help someone else is in my book. So I just
Oh
absolutely.
yeah,
Is there anything
absolutely.
you want me to click on?
I think that's pretty much covers it. I mean, the YouTube channel is again just exploring the brand, but you're going to see more of our videos on there. They're getting more and more fun and more developed at every day, and we're just having a great time. We have an amazing crew now put together, and we have a lot of laughs. We have a lot of fun, and at the same time, the page is growing exponentially and we get to comments from people all over the world and it's really fun. We just talked with some barbecue enthusiasts in the UK yesterday,
Oh,
and there was one guy from New Zealand this last week had chimed in and said, "If you guys are ever hiring, I will be there." And I said, "Well, in baby steps, we'll be there soon." So but it's just great to meet everyone. The barbecue community, there's none quite like it.
there was something that I saw that I loved the fine print on this, and it said down here, it said, it's a non-scripted reality competitions cooking show.
Mhm.
Non-scripted is awesome.
Yes,
Not
yes.
a lot of people are
Yeah.
doing that in competition. So I love that. Just absolutely huge.
Yeah, it'll be very, very fun. And sometimes non-scripted and just letting anyone know from a producing and directing standpoint can be more of a challenge. But I would tell people don't be scared of that. They think that scripted has to be controlled, but I think there needs to be a certain element of trust with your talent, depending on the project, of course. But don't be afraid of doing non-scripted. I mean, if you've got your talent and you trust them, and again, I've been working with Hamilton's for almost a year and a half, 2 years now, and trusting them as um, talent as well as just overall what their vision with the project.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid of unscripted.
Perfect. Now, what I'm doing is I was supposed to uh, do this, put my email in.
Hmm.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I love it. You're just fully going for it and exploring things, Christine. That's
Yeah,
great.
this is what you got to do around here. Get things going. Okay, so I got that submitted. So now we can just see what happens. So you have another production company that's in New York.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so that was the development, I guess, going back to the origins of how it started. My business partner now, Terrell Vincent, he's also, I've been very lucky. He's one of my best friends in the world. Been that way for 12 years, 13 years.
Oh, wow.
And we met on one of the very first projects that I had the privilege of directing. And it was a really tough shoot. And we were both outside and we were on a 15-minute break. And we started discussing, frustrations with projects. And we're reminiscing, and that's when you never know when you're going to meet your future business partner or someone down the line. Again, it's all about connections, and that's Terrell there on the left. He's continued to work his way up. He started as a camera AC and then quickly became a first AC and a camera operator, and then amazingly worked his way up from a camera operator to a director of photography position. He just worked with, which I can talk about, just did some promos for the new Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot. But I mean, Terrell is been around the gamut, and that guy is an incredible, not only shooter, but an incredible visionary. What he can tell with lighting and with a lens, I'm so envious at times. He is definitely a better operator than I am, but that's what's so great is we make a great team in the director photography director realm. He's very good at translating, what I need to see visually, and I'm just blessed to have him in my life. He's a great friend and a confidant that has been there from the beginning. And we did launch officially TGT about 4 years ago. We were working with another partner named Greg Myrie, and that unfortunately didn't pan out. But we started from that. We also met, that's what you'll see, Light Warrior Rentals,
Mhm.
which during COVID was a unique opportunity to purchase gear. And so some of the companies that were going out of business that had mentioned that I'd worked with in the past said, we're selling our gear at an affordable rate. Would you be interested? So I talked with some of the other business owners I know, and we partnered up, and Light Warrior Rentals, we were able to get a substantial amount of camera gear and enough to launch this first new, stage in our business. So very exciting.
Phenomenal. Yeah, this is really exciting. Now with that, let's go back a little bit. You were in a movie
Mhm.
and I
Yes.
watched that night. I think I watched it that night. I had to watch it. I want to look up that movie real quick for anybody. So give me the name of it real quick.
It's called The Frontier Boys.
Because they have it on here. Yeah, there it is. See, I looked it up before. Okay, so
Mhm.
just see if you're checking. Okay, so this movie was phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
How did you get that part? I know Karla had something to do with it a little bit, but probably a
Mhm.
lot of it.
Well,
But let's-
Carla's had the foundation of everything that I do. Mother agents don't get enough credit. I'll tell you that much, because
Excellent.
they find people and they start their careers. And then the gracious thing that mother agents, and again, Karla, you're so good at this, is that they let their clients spread their wings. And it's not, I want to hold on to my client for money and I want my fame and I want my fortune. It's just truly about the passion of grooming great talent and then helping them develop. So, Karla, again, just to give you that credit, I sincerely appreciate you. I went 15 or 16 when we first met, but
Yep.
with this with this film, yeah, it was something that I was so excited to tell Karla about, as well as the other agents that I'd worked with. And Karla, especially being the mother agent, I was, and this also being a faith-based film, but I had a casting director that I had known and I had worked with in college, as well as previously, had called me out of the blue and said, hey, look, we have this independent feature film. Would you be interested in auditioning? And this was within my first year to a year and a half of being in New York. I said, yes, of course. I'd fully graduated. I'd been out there and I had studied at Esper Studios and New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts. And I said, let's do it. Right. And I did the auditions. He said, we can't guarantee anything, Tim, because we're auditioning Disney kids. And, you're a little bit older, but I had a baby face at the time. I didn't have this scruffy beard that I had. There's me, baby face, a little bit anyway.
Yep.
And I had a lot more hair back then. Oh, weren't those wonderful days?
I just
but,
watched the movie if you need to impress your wife again, right?
yeah, the wife that I need to find, right?
Oh, okay.
So
You got two moms now trying to say, yeah, okay.
much appreciated, much appreciated. And so, yeah, but with the film, it was a great experience. So that was working with a casting director named Asher Noel. She was working for John Gruters, which Gruters Productions was the company attached to it at the time. And I did one of the very first reads, and then I didn't hear anything. And that's one of those, as an actor, you go, okay, just another audition in the bag, not expecting. And 2.5 weeks later, I got a call that said, hey, we might want to, talk to you about some kind of read. Would you be willing? And so I met the casting directors involved and I met the crew, and they just said, I think we want to offer you this role if you're willing to take it.
Oh, wow.
And I said, yes, absolutely. So we discussed contracts, and before long I had a full script and I was flying out to Michigan, and we did the film. It was really incredible. 7.5 weeks out in Michigan, up to Charlevoix, shot all night shoots, which I tell you, Michigan, I didn't think there was a place colder than Montana or North Dakota. Like I mentioned before on your show, it is cold in Michigan.
It's Michigan. It's very.
My goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
Like 40 below at night, and John Gruters was so great. This was his first independent feature film and won a lot of awards with documentary films. And this was the first time working with scripted and with talent, and everyone just came together so magically. I mean, every day for something of this magnitude, for the budget that he pulled off, for shooting for 7 weeks. And I think the budget ended roughly around 2 point something million, was really an incredible feat. And that was just Brian Papirski, who was one of the DPs, absolutely incredible human being again. And Dino, which I can never remember his last name, was one of the gaffers. When you've got a set like that on an independent film and you can see these guys working together like such a family, but also just such a well-oiled machine. And then Ace Cabralto, who came in as our first AD that really saved the shoot, keeping us on time. It was a massive undertaking. And I think just the culmination of everyone believing enough and having enough faith in God that it was going to happen, and having enough faith in like together and in each other just made it happen. It was a wonderful experience. And Rebecca St. James is an incredible human being. Got to work with her, especially as an Emmy nominated award winner. And, you know, Big Kenny from Big and Rich as a country star. He was an incredible guy. So yeah, I mean, it was just overall, it was amazing. Just blessed that I learned so much. And it really provided me, I think, the tools later on when I started directing and producing to really appreciate what all of those people went through to make that film happen. It was incredible.
Well, and I'm sure that you guys are lifelong friends just because that time in the cold, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, nothing makes bonds like being in your makeup trailer at 4 a.m. and you're like, "Ooh, okay, yeah, let's warm up, you know, before we go back out." And again, they were always professional. There was never anything that we had to worry about where, you know, anyone was unsafe in the weather, but it was definitely a challenge. And I think those are the things that actors, you know, or artists, anyone, even if you're crew and working on a film, you have to be ready for is the unpredictability. And it got miserably cold. And there was at one point where it was trying to blizzard and there was not supposed to be any blizzard scheduled on our shoot days, but you know, we made it happen. And yeah.
And you played the part so well. I mean, it just, everybody fit
Thank you.
in. It was very natural to watch. So this is excellent. And all I did was just Google Frontier Boys and where to watch, and it happened. Okay. So anybody can look this up. So that's excellent. So with that, let's talk about, now we're going to go back to your very beginning first event when you met with Karla. What was the experience?
Oh my gosh.
How did you do that? Yeah. How did when you found Karla or she found you or whatever? Let's go back to those beginnings.
Sure. Yeah. Just I guess the origin story. And I'm trying to not be long-winded, so I'll keep it concise. I know I'm failing, and God bless you, Karla, for just sitting there so silently. Chime in at some point, be like, "Tim, you're talking too much. Just cut it out."
No, you're fine.
This is your hour. I want to spend some
Your
time.
hour. You're on the spotlight.
Yeah, this is
Much appreciated. I just hope that if it can help anyone else in their journey along the way. But yeah, talking about the origin story, I was always interested, you know, in schools, and I'd mentioned this earlier on the show where I had done a lot of plays, you know, but we were a small town. We have 3,000 people. I was so blessed to be raised on a farm and ranch, Columbus, Montana, and raised up through the school system. And we did a lot of plays, and I loved acting. I was a very animated young man. And my older brothers will agree with that. They were, as the youngest sibling, they'll tell you that I was probably more animated than I should have been. But when I was 15, my oldest brother, Conrad, did the thing that would change my life, which he called down and said, "Hey, I heard on the radio that they have this talent search going on, and I want you to go do this." And I was freaked. I couldn't believe that he had done it. But I said, well, you know, something to push me down there. And I remember walking into the experience, and you walk in and there's just that tension just hits you. Everyone's so nervous. And we were down in Billings, and Karla, it was out on that exit. Do you remember the name of the hotel that the convention center that we were at?
I think it was the Billings Convention Center, I believe, is where.
Is that what it was? The Billings Convention Center?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you walked in, it was an amazing facility. You walked in and you go, "Oh man, you know, I'm this small town little farm kid and I've just got to go for it." And so I tried to walk the catwalk the best I could as a model, right, at the time, not really understanding what modeling was. And I did a little bit of singing and I did some acting, and yeah, there was a call, and Karla called me back, and I sat down. And who was the gentleman? I always remember his mustache that was a part of AMTC back in the day. Do you remember,
Bob Lewis.
Bob Lewis, there it is. And so I sat down with Bob, very stern man, and you know, he gave me "Is this something that you're interested in doing?" And yes, of course. I was very excited, very nervous, and bless my parents' heart, they were able to help me out and to do the convention. And so we went to AMTC. And describing the whole experience, something that I think is really key, to give Karla so much credit, is that Karla was one of the agents who really did care about what her clients were experiencing, getting prepped for these competitions. And the reason I mention this is very much later in my career, I guess to skip forward to come back, was I was a judge at IMTA And I don't know which year this was, maybe 10 years, 8 years ago, somewhere around in there. It was through a acting coach that I was working with at the time, independent coach. And he said, look, would you want to judge at IMTA? I said, I know IMTA. So that's that big convention that's over there at that big hotel. And it's literally, 15,000 people. And
Oh, wow.
all of these kids from all across the nation are coming in. And, I was judging all of the acting and ports of it. I mean, there were so many kids thrown at this thing across the spectrum. And again, I'm not belittling any of those experiences because so many great things happen from IMTA or AMTC, some of these scouts. But what I had noticed was with this agency that we were working with IMTA, there wasn't much prep for these kids. And it's so sad to see because you could tell that it was much a numbers game. And these small agencies, and this again, not every agency is like this, but this is something to be wary of in your career, is they had, 50 to 80 kids, say, competing in this thing.
Oh my God.
And how can they possibly give coaching to all of these kids? The answer is you can't. And it becomes a numbers game and a money game at that point. And so it was very eye-opening for me to see and to witness that. So that's one thing I give so much credit for. Karla got us all prepped. We went down to Orlando, Florida, and we competed down there. And that's where I got my first callback for a National Lampoon's movie of all things.
Good.
And that's where I did my first, kind of film callback where it's just, you're working right there with the director and one of the talent that's going to be in the film. And we really didn't have much time because unfortunately so much was going on at the convention. They had screwed up the copy and I didn't receive any of it in my hotel room as I was supposed to. So I showed up not knowing any of the lines. I thought this was some kind of improv. I didn't know what to expect. So we wung it. And, that was a really great learning tool for me, to learn how to think on your feet. So it was great. We did that competition. And then from there, that opened up the doors to model in New York City and from modeling. And it led into acting and directing and, just so many other journeys over the last 13 years in New York.
Karla, over all the years, how many students or clients have you had that you helped? Because this is just one. Can you imagine all these others?
Gosh, I couldn't begin to tell you. Hundreds probably.
That's huge. It's like leaving a legacy, building their dreams so they can leave a legacy.
Right.
That's powerful. And Tim, just hearing it from you with Karla right here, that's just such a thank you and appreciation for her. And it's just amazing to hear that. It's good to be appreciative. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the biggest thing with agents like Karla is that so many of those people go unseen because Karla's not the type of agent that's out there glamming and grabbing. For example, I had an agent in New York City shortly after I did the guest star role on Tommy that I was working with at the time wanted me to do a role for Law and Order SVU. It was a terrible, absolutely terrible role. And as an actor, I said, this is not something I'm going to do. At that point, I found out, the true colors being that it was about the contract. This agent only cared. And this was something I developed a relationship with. So there has to be trust. The point I'm trying to make is that those people are about the money. And the difference is Karla really cares about people, which those agents and anyone that's in this industry that you can find, surround yourself with them. And Karla, you really do care about your clients. It's not just about the money and it's not just about the fame. It's about helping develop people, and truly loving people. And that's really unique.
I love that. And it's just so incredible. It does come around. And I think the greatest thing I'm picking up on this is that it does come around. So we're talking Tim Lofing. Is it Lofing or Lofing?
Lofing. Yeah.
Oh, I apologize greatly. I probably said
no worries.
Time. But I wanted to pull up Karla's contact information again because it's the oldest, the longest, the greatest that's in the state of Montana, and that's Creative World Inc. Now, in comparison to the Northwest, I would go to Karla because the fact is she has developed a relationship of trust. Big word, trust, when it comes to this industry. And that, everybody knows that. I've been in the music industry for years. It's the same thing all over, developing that trust. So I really appreciate your wonderful example, Karla, so much. Okay, so what we have, we're going to have some fun. Now, what I wanted to do, I really like that picture of you, by the way. So now what I want to do, okay, out of the box, since you're so good at it, right? Okay, I'm sure you thought of writing your own film.
Oh, yes.
I know you have. Everyone, I have titles for films I want to write, so my son would produce it. So
Yes.
how many domains do I have? Okay, a lot. I'm grabbing them before anybody else can, whether it materializes or not. But what would be your first pick? What type of film? And where it would be at? Let's just do Dreamland stuff. And what?
Ooh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, now we're going down a rabbit hole. Karla, why don't you, what's your dream film? You take it away for a second and I'll think.
What's my dream film? Oh gosh, this is putting me on the spot.
If you wrote a film.
I don't know. I would like to make a film about my spiritual experiences that I've had here on earth. But me getting things, I have all these great ideas in my head, but me getting them out on paper and onto film would be a whole nother thing that I would never. But that was just kind of something. I actually wanted to write a book about it, and I've been thinking about it for many, many years. But then I think, oh, people's going to make fun of me, and then finally I got to the point where no, it doesn't. That doesn't matter. I can't worry about what other people think. I just have to do it. Basically, I wanted to do it for my own self. But then I recently had a epiphany to do something for my dad, because he's like, I'm going to be 95 years old in August. He still hauls his little trailer of junk around to all the flea markets in Arizona. He used to be a teacher. He retired at 65, and here he is 30 years later. He's like the Sanford and Son, you know? And I said, maybe I can make maybe about my dad and I, Sanford and daughter, you know, or something, you know? But yeah, I would love to do something with that, because he actually did get filmed by somebody, but he never did get the guy's name. Like he was the oldest. This was like a couple of years ago in Casa Grande. And I was like, Dad, why didn't you get the guy's name and stuff? Because they found him as the oldest, you know, flea market guy or something like that. So that'd be
that's incredible.
That would be kind of fun, I think, to do, you know,
but we'll see what
happens.
Yeah, there was a guy in Alabama. He was the hubcap king.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not all but he had over 1 million hubcaps aligned in his house. When you walk in his house, he's got this throne. And so I'm curious about it. So, you know, Karla, I love your idea about the book of your spiritual experiences. There's so many films, and Tim, the one that you were in was based on faith-based. And it could be a series, but I do know the book needs to be first from those that I know that they've filmed, and you know that too, Tim, and you do too, Karla. The book has to go out first. And I've written a book, but I didn't care if I was going to be laughed at. I wrote it more for my kids and for those that could use it. And so that's what you need to do. I'm a total supporter. So we got to support her and hold her to it, Tim.
Absolutely. I will be there right with you, holding the bandwagon for sure.
Okay. You'll be my producer and director, Tim. You'll be my producer and director.
Hey, I'm happy to. Anything for you, Karla.
That's how it comes around, Karla. See, you built your future. So, Tim, okay, you ready now?
I am. So there's two different ones, and these are screenplays that I've worked with. And it's hard because, boy, we give them out there to the world, and without NDAs and those kind of things, you're like, oh, do we talk about it? Do we not? But, at some point you got to talk about the creative, right? I really wanted to do period pieces. And so I've always wanted to develop a film called Iwo that's talking about Iwo Jima in World War II. And I think that era was such a different time for all of the world. I mean, hence the World War, but going a little bit more than surface level is talking about the experiences that affected everyone on such a global scale. And I think, everyone's always so focused on the fighting, that there were so many amazing stories that happened during that time where people rose to challenges that there was no other way than just to rise. And that time era was so incredible and important, and we had to learn so much from that time era. So I'd love to do a period piece, to keep it short. I've always been a big buff of that. The second, and I can give you a little snip of it, that I've been writing on for a very, very long time, but it has to do with the Second American Civil War. And so it's a very hot button issue, but it's something that we've been developing into a TV series for going on 6 years. We've been working on this. And so hopefully it ever gets the light of day now, especially with, in the recent climate, what's going on in our country and in the world. Some people would say, did you just start writing this? And I promise I have the copy from way back when. But yeah, it would be, and I want to do a romantic comedy. Who doesn't want to do one rom-com, right? I want to do it.
Is that the one
I
where
don't
you
know.
get to cast the perfect person you are interested in personally? Play the
Right.
opposing part?
Yes.
That's how you
And we'll
but-
be looking for his future wife.
Yeah. If only if it was that easy, right? That would be amazing.
That's his story right here.
Right.
Him, that's a
It
story
is.
right there of a producer, director that doesn't have a chance or time to date. His buddy says, "Oh, come on, let's create a movie, right? Good storyline." How I would want that would be a hoot. And then
That would be a huge, as long as we keep it comedy enough, because
Yeah.
there is that other side of the spectrum where there's a lot of those creepy people out there that use their positions of power. And so we definitely have to drive home that comedy spec, but I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Why not? Right.
Yeah.
But
Great.
yeah, I mean, there's so many incredibly talented people out there. And it would be, I have some actors and actresses, directors that I would love to work with, as well as composers. I think that's why I would love to do a period piece, is to be able to work with the greats. I mean, it's pipe dreams, but we can dream, right? But I mean, the Hans Zimmer or James Horner or the Philharmonic, being able to work with some of those, that now you're introducing music into an element of film, which is so absolutely incredible to help drive your stories. That would be the ultimate dream. But, if not, hey, we're going to do the rom-com about a producer that can't get a date at 36. It'll be like an autobiography rom-com. We just won't tell people.
I just need the list.
Sounds great.
I just need the list of, what you're interested in. My daughter gave me one. Yes, this, and she learned it from me. I had a list of 53 items to make sure I didn't meet anybody after my last divorce.
Oh,
And by
wow.
golly,
Okay.
I came back
Yeah.
home and I have someone that met every one of them, and we've been married 11 years.
No kidding.
Our wedding date was
Wow.
11/11/11. Now go figure, this is a lucky.
What?
Yeah, no way.
Wow. That
So it
is an
happens.
incredible story.
So write
Yeah.
your list. I believe in lists, and
Right.
put it out there on that movie and whatever. What's interesting enough, Karla, I've known you just a little short, 2 years, maybe a little bit more, less than 2 years.
About 2 years.
But yeah, and for the 9atNight, my passion is I used to have a radio show that encompassed these same topics. And this has been so much fun to get to know you, because I've had guests from Nashville to Hollywood. I had Beverly Todd right before she was, they were doing the red
Oh, wow.
carpet.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's been on my show a lot. And
Amazing.
I actually did a live broadcast down in Burbank, where she came to it, and we have pictures and stuff, but was a regular on my show. And so she was sending me these pictures with her and Norman Freeman, and she's sitting there, we're ready to walk the walk. And I got to give the first scoop. So those are
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun from, guests from General Hospital, you name it, over to NASCAR in Nashville, Tennessee. But the reason I did was I had a good PR person. But out of all of my interviews, and I've had this for years, and it was every day, so I had a lot of interviews, but I've never had a talent agency owner.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a first for me, and I'm sitting there, why didn't I do that before? You know,
Sure.
you're the missing piece of connecting people. 'Cause I had people over, I bought time on USA Radio Network. I don't know if they're up and existing still, but I was in 21 major markets in the Southeast. And people would call in, how can I get my song heard? Because I had people from Nashville. My children's father, before he passed away, was on it all the time. And he was a record promoter. He was from New York, a lot older than I, but he started Ray Charles' first album that went platinum. He was the one that promoted.
Wow.
That was Georgia on My Mind, that song from James Brown.
Yes.
King Records, and the King Records bought us a country label, took them down to Nashville. In fact, Johnny Cash's movie where he crashed the boat he borrowed from his neighbor, that was Hal Neely, who owned King Records, now Starday Kings, next door was him.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I mean, it's so amazing. And so the whole scoop of everybody there, I love both of you being on here. I want to do regular updates with you, Tim, and Karla, your other guests that you bring on. I told Karla if she brings a guest, I get to get her on the show.
There you go.
So she kind of works for that, but I have other people that do too. But we've been blessed with very nationally known people. But I love the kickstart. You're right before this huge barbecue event. And I love the fact of developing relationships so we can keep connected, see it through, and have other projects, so.
Absolutely. And we hope to have great news, coming down, and I'd love to stay in touch with you, Christine. And I appreciate that you're doing shows like this. I think the industry needs people that have guidance, that, that you can provide so many different spectrums and so many different wide variety of guests that people can learn from. And you're doing 5 shows a week. Right?
I do one every night. Yeah, it's a different topic, but it's me.
That's insanely hard.
It is.
I mean, give yourself some credit. That's crazy. When I first heard about this show and Karla said, "Do you want to be on?" I said, "Yeah." I did the research and I said 5 nights a week. And I'm like, is that for like a month? And then it's done. And then I went, this is 5 nights a week every week. I'm like, this person, wow. So kudos to you and what you're accomplishing. That's really amazing.
Well, and it takes a team effort. I couldn't do it if I didn't have people to rely on to help bring the guests in. And so, and that goes for you too. I mean, it's just, that helps me out quite a bit. And it's just getting people so we can reach, again, the whole purpose is keep a positive format here. And then also
100%.
Help those people out there that are really searching to be, found or discovered or have that connection. And I'm going to have everyone go to Karla. I mean, if it was my kids, I would have her go to Karla.
I would too.
And I don't trust a lot of agents. I've been in the business side of things, and I know what some of them do, and I don't want to be around them, and I'm sorry. But it's about integrity.
Remember, Tim, I had your firstborn.
That's right. That's the one part she hasn't mentioned in the whole thing. That's why I have to keep saying nice things. But yeah, no, Karla's, I mean, that's 100% right. You nailed it on the head. And just doing one last time, just to compliment her again. She is, Karla has been more than just a mother agent, and it's so unique in this industry. Again, trust is everything. And, you're going to have, no matter what side of the industry you're in, you're going to have so many experiences that you will learn what valued trust is. And if you can find it at an early stage to culminate your career, like what Karla has done. And I mean, I'm so thankful. I think about all the time where my journey would have been had I not met Karla and I had just been in, Denver, Colorado with John Robert Powers, or I had been somewhere else with a different agency, what my experience might have been like. And I'm just grateful for it.
That is fabulous. It's just like you, Karla. I have always helped the same. I've had so many cell phone numbers from major motion picture producers. They know I will never bother their cell phone number because I had to call them to get on the show. And I was trusted source. So I was actually earned my way to where I could be called in when they did the red carpets and be there and be accepted in. And then 2008 happened. Economy.
Right.
So that's why the beginning of this show, and my kid, I have a son just like yourself that is definitely skilled in production, and he's so busy. So I learned how to do my own reels, my own video stuff. And it's elementary level, but I'm having fun with it. But the first part I play is the song is This Is My Comeback. And it really is. Because since I lost my show, I had to bow down and turn everything back in and stuff like that. And my kids and I, as a single mom, we started again. And so now that they're all gone, married families, wherever and stuff, it's my time now. And that's why it doesn't matter what age. Karla, this is your time. You need to write that book. You need to have that movie or that series started. Because I think it's needed to have those faith-based series too. So with that, we're at the end of the hour. We're with Timothy Lofing. Do you go by Tim or Timothy?
You know, professionally I go by Timothy, but I mean, we're all friends at this point. Tim is great, Christine. I appreciate it.
I just don't want to, I need to cross my T's, you know how that is. So you can,
sure.
I sure appreciate it. You know, this is what it's all about. It's about friends making a difference. And what Tim is doing with his Montana barbecue reach, you got to start honing on your skills, and we got to learn more about it so that we can definitely get you where you need to be so you can be part of it. Here's a short video. And this is just a reminder for Karla to write her book, because this one's about mine. There we go. And we have 9atNight every weekday night. And I'll tell you, it's a different topic every night as we've been discussing. And tonight it's all about the talent, featuring top news from talented artists, producers, you name it. We have it on here. We even had a fine arts, a master who actually taught those in maximum prison, and they have beautiful paintings because of his efforts. He's done that for many years. So it's all about positive people making a difference. So I just say tune in at 9atnight.com. You can scroll down, click on the live Zoom at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And we definitely appreciate seeing you live on the Zoom. If not, you can always get the replay. Just go to the page of podcast and there you have it there. So again, I can't say thank you enough to our good guests. We have Karla and Tim Lofing here with us tonight. And each of you just take note of all the things you learned about how to really get into this and who to do it with. So thank you so much, you two.
Thank you, Christine.
Appreciate it, Christine.
Thanks, Tim.
You bet, Karla. Thank you so much. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Come on now. Say hey. Listen up, y'all, 'cause I've got something to say. Hey, hey. Well, you better get ready, 'cause you know I came to play. Hey, hey. I'm trying to sit in the pride.
I said, Tim, you don't have to give me